Hi, I'm Angelica Squitieri from CNN Student News. With us today are Cheyenne and Dakota Locklear. Their ancestors, the Locklears, walked the Trail of Tears many years ago. Would one of you like to give us a little bit of family history?
Yes. Our three times great-grandparents walked the Trail of Tears in 1838. We were a part of the Cherokee tribe. Contrary to popular opinion, we were a simple people. The Cherokees are original residents of the American Southeast region, particularly Georgia, North and South Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee. These are the three federally recognized Cherokee tribes: the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians in North Carolina, and the United Kituwa Band in Oklahoma. Other Cherokee communities in Alabama, Georgia, and other states are considered unofficial by the U.S. government. The Eastern Cherokee people live on a reservation. Indian reservations are lands that belong to Native American tribes that are under their control.
Cheyenne, anything you would like to add on to that?
Of course, but I think I'll talk more about our ancestors' personal experiences and the stories that were passed down through generations about the conditions our ancestors endured while embarking upon their journey on the Trail of Tears.
That would be splendid. Please, do go on.
My parents did not come to the territory on the Trail of Tears, but my great-great-great-grandparents on my mother's side did, and they managed to pass down many stories. I have heard them say that the United States government drove them out of Georgia. The Cherokees had protested to the bitter end. Finally, the Cherokees knew that they would have to go someplace because the white men would kill their cattle and hogs and would even burn their houses in Georgia. The Cherokees came a group at a time until all got to the territory. They brought only a few things with them, traveling by wagon and train. Old men and women, sick men and women would ride, but most of them walked, and the men in charge drove them like cattle, and many died en route, and many other Cherokees died in Tennessee waiting to cross the Mississippi River. Dysentery broke out in their camp by the river, and many died. And many died on the journey but my great-great-great-grandparents got through okay.
What a horrific time in American history. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Dakota, care to add anything?
Yes.
The floor is all yours.
Well, my parents have told me they heard their great-grandparents say that after they got out of the camp, and even before they left Georgia, many Cherokee were taken sick and later died. The Cherokees came through Tennessee, Kentucky, part of Missouri, and then down to the Indian Territory on the Trail of Tears. Some Cherokees were already in the country around Evansville, Arkansas. Before my great-grandparents came, they called them Western Cherokees. It was in 1838 when my great-grandparents came and heard them say it was in the winter time and all suffered with cold and hunger.
My mother and father remained in Georgia about 6 years after mother's folks' parents came on the Trail of Tears, and mother worried continually about her great-grandparents. Then, when I was 4 years old, I, with my parents and other kin, came west to join the rest of my family. I don't know why the government let mother stay longer than the rest of the Cherokees in Georgia, unless it was because she married a white man. We came by Fort Gibson, Indian Territory, in June 1844. I don't know how long it took us to come from Memphis, nor do I remember the names of the towns we came through, but I have heard my folks say that we had to change boats 2 or 3 times because the rivers became shallow and we had to change to smaller boats. I'm sorry. Can we just take a quick break? I just need a moment.
It's okay. Let it all out.
This kind of stuff just makes me
I understand.
I'll be right back.
We'll be back after this short break, so stay tuned. And we're back here with Dakota and Cheyenne Locklear. How are you feeling, Miss Locklear?
I'm fine now. Thanks for asking.
I'm glad to hear that. So my next question is for you, Miss Dakota. What was life like back then, and how did the government restrict Native Americans?
Like I said before, my family lived a very simple life. They would wake up every morning at the crack of dawn and tend to the livestock. The community was full of good, hardworking people. Mothers would make clothing out of buffalo skin, and husbands would hunt for food and make money through the deerskin trade. Life was good until the government began to restrict us and make us assimilate to European cultures. The government made treaties that forced us to relocate to the West. However, the U.S. government often broke these treaties and took even more land from us Native Americans. The government began to kill off the buffalo population in order for us to move to these reservations.
Can you elaborate more on how Europeans forced you to assimilate?
There were many efforts to get Native Americans to become settled farmers because settlers wanted the land to be used more productively. The Dawes Act divided the reservation land into 160-acre plots, and this land was given to individual families, like my own, and forced us to a farm for profit. Missionaries attempted to convert us to Christianity. Given the complex culture of us natives when the Europeans attempted to force us to change our culture, this was considered an atrocity. Children were sent to Native American boarding schools to focus on skills such as carpentry and housekeeping. After years of resistance, unfortunately, we were forced to succumb to these changes.
Well, that's all the time we have, folks. I would like to thank Dakota and Cheyenne Locklear for taking the time to talk about their families' experiences of the Trail of Tears and how the American government restricted their lifestyle.